Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is Robin Carter with Robin's Creations. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator out of Flower Mound, Texas. And today, which is Tuesday, March 3rd, I am here to share my first set of alternative cards using the February 2026 paper pumpkin kit named Celebrate Spring. If you are new to my channel, let me welcome you. Thanks so much for tuning in. And I hope you find some inspiration during this video to help expand your kit. Also, I try to keep my videos real, so if I make a mistake, I try to fix those on camera here so that you know what to do if you make those same mistakes. Let me welcome back all my existing YouTube subscribers. Thank you so much for tuning in and being patient for my alternative videos. So I was on vacation with my husband celebrating our 25th wedding anniversary. So we had a great time on our trip. So that's why these videos are a little late. Thank you for your patience, and I hope you find these alternatives worth the wait and decide to make those. Also, I have a Facebook group called Robin's Creations Community. I would love for you to join. All you need to do is answer three simple questions, like you agree to be kind, no self-promoting, things like that. So if you have asked to join and I haven't accepted you yet, it's because I haven't received answers to those simple questions. So if you can go do that, I can hit the approve button and you can join my group. I've shared the new in colors coming for 2026, 2028, and I share new news if I don't have a video going there, so you get it quickly. If you're on my email list, I also try to send out an email with that information. But anyway, I'd love to see you join my community, and then you can post your alternatives. Maybe you want to reply to my pictures I put out there after I get those posted and share me your take of those videos. Okay, as it being Tuesday, March 3rd, this started the new online exclusives for March of 2026. There's quite a bit of great products. One of them is currently unavailable already, so hopefully it will come in soon if it's one of your favorites. I think I have it over here. It's called Scalloped Wishes. It was one of my favorite things, and last I looked it was currently unavailable. Okay, so I need to switch down now and get started. I'm a little out of practice from my vacation, and I forgot to share the upcoming paper pumpkin kit, so I'm going to do that now. So going on now is the subscription period for the March 2026 paper pumpkin kit named Fluttering Garden. It looks to be a beautiful kit. I love all the colors here, which is basic gray, which is going to be our classic ink spot, Coastal Cabana, Early Espresso, Gorgeous Grape, Old Olive, Peach Pie, and Pretty Peacock. So with it being the March kit, we usually get 2 stamp sets, and that is the case for March. We will get 2 stamp sets instead of just the one. That is one of my favorite parts about Paper Pumpkin, are the exclusive stamp sets that we get in each and every kit. They're only available in these Paper Pumpkin kits. Now, unfortunately, I looked before this video and I did not see these dies, so I'm guessing they are sold out, but hopefully you have already purchased those if you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. By the way, if you have any questions about what Paper Pumpkin is, I would love to help you out. Just leave me a comment and I'll get back to you, and then we can do it that way. So let me get started. I'm going to start with, let me get out my little flyer here. This card base right here on the right with the basket. So you guys know I always cut them in half and add my own thick white card bases to these cards to help expand my kit. So I try to keep to just cardstock, but sometimes I add a little more like dies, and especially embossing folders. Embossing is a very economical way to add great interest to your cards. So let's get started with that. So as you can see here, I'm going to get out my supplies. I have a thick white card base. Okay, now this is the card base that I hopefully have already cut to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Now, since there is a pattern on this, I cut a little bit from each side to try not to I don't know, cut off any flowers and to leave an equal border there. Now when I cut my top to 3/8, I did it off just this top part, which I'm going to call the sky. Okay, and then I wanted to just dress it up a lot. So what we need is, I have all my supplies over here. Okay, and then we need a basket from the kit. Now, I like to add texture to things, so I ran this basket with the Tasteful Textile 3D embossing folder. Now, that is a retired embossing folder, but just something with a slight pattern to it is what I did with the basket. And then I wanted to dress this up. So of course we need our eggs that came in the kit already stamped there for us. But like I said, I wanted to dress it up, give it a little more interest. So I cut a whole bunch of flowers and I stamped eggs, and I have those here. Now these flowers are from the the last quarter of the add-on dies, and I really liked them, so I cut them in all the coordinating colors of this kit. So I'm going to get out a pretty in pink one, a lemon lolly, and just kind of one for each flower. Don't worry about that one because our basket's going to cover that one up. And lemon lolly again, balmy blue, and the last is peach pie. So the other thing I like about paper pumpkin is it helps me bring out colors that I haven't really used a lot. So we're going to add those to that. Now I'm going to bump them up to give them a little bit of interest already. So I got out my Pierce mat, and I'm going to just, you know, an eraser would work. I think even like this is a watercolor pencil would work, and just kind of press it to help those flowers come up a little bit. Now, if the center comes out, I'm not that worried about it because I usually put a rhinestone in these to add a little bling. And let's just do all of those. Now, when I put these on, I like to do it with a glue dot. We did get glue dots in this kit. In the last couple kits, we've gotten tear and tape, but we got glue dots. I just go with whatever I have started. So I keep in this little embellishment cup some things that I haven't used. Also, I stamped a whole lot of Easter eggs in all those same coordinating colors. So I was ready to go when I wanted to add Easter eggs to my card. So let's start building this up. Now I don't have any ribbon for this card, so let me set these aside. Hopefully they don't fall off and then I lose them. Okay, for your card base, when you make your own card bases, feel, and I can see already that when I use my fingers to try to open it, this side is maybe just a hair wider. So that's the one I'm going to use for the front. And let's adhere the card base down to the card. So I'm going to get my Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue. It's my favorite glue. It gives me wiggle room and it's pretty economical. I do also have some in a fine tip glue bottle, but when I do my card base piece or the main card front piece, I want it to adhere well. So put that down, give it a little rub around the glue to help it spread out and adhere down to your card. So I probably should have done this ahead of time, but I'll just share while I put glue dots on each of these. Now when I go to put them on, put them a little higher so that the little stem and greenery shows on the flower. Some will get covered up, but that's going to be okay. Let me get my take your pick tool. It's the easiest way to get these glue dots on and off. So I'm just going to put one like there and put all around the card to help decorate it. So I did go, you know, this is pretty much like the kit and I did that the wrong way. So let me just fiddle and get that glue dot off. You know what? I'll just grab another. No, it worked out okay. Let me punch it the other way and put the glue dot on the back. So like I said, these are going to overlap a little bit, and that's okay. Make sure your flower doesn't hang off the card base though, so it doesn't have a problem going in an envelope. I did a lot of these backwards, didn't I? I should have paid attention to the direction of the flower when I was punching, but I was busy gabbing, and then I mess up a little bit. Okay, I'm going to check this one before. That one is the right way. So did you guys wait for my alternatives, or did you go ahead and make them like you wanted to? I do like to see your take on it, and that's why I kind of started the Robins Creations community group. I'd had a few of you ask if they where to share your cards. So I thought that would be a fun way to share with the Facebook group. That one was upside down, but the glue dot stayed, so that's good. Okay, and that's the last one, the lemon lolly one. Let me put these glue dots away. Okay, so now we need to decorate our basket. So here's the eggs that were in our kit. Now they put them flat in the directions, but I want them to be up on dimensionals as well with my basket. So let's attach these to the basket. I don't want any space to show. So when I do my dimensionals, let me hold this together while I grab some. I'm going to adhere it right where the basket is. And of course I need to cut another strip. Now when I have these full-size dimensionals, I like to cut them in half. I find a half is a good amount to use. If I have the small ones, they're fine just like they are. Let me pick this back up again and make sure the eggs are where I want them. Okay, so I'm going to hold them in place with a dimensional. Just put it between the two on the back, the eggs to the basket. And then of course I want my eggs not to fall. So I'm going to put one here and one here. And then just all around the basket. Now another thing that helps with a half of a full size is they fit better on the basket handle. Now when you emboss this basket, it does lose a little bit of its firmness. So you want to be generous with your dimensionals so that it stays, doesn't go flat on the card. And I may just do one more for good measure right here. Okay, so that's plenty of those. And let's put this down. You know what? I haven't stamped my grass yet, so I'll go ahead and get these backings off and then I'll stamp my grass. I did like the little scribbly grass stamp that came in this kit. I haven't really had that much grass in paper pumpkin kits. Lots of backings. You can get these off with take your pick tool. I just have natural hard nails and they work fastest for me. Okay, let me get out grab that quick. Let me get out the grass stamp that came in our kit, and then I'm going to get my Shy Shamrock. I'm going to use my full-size pad because I have it versus the spot. I do love the spots, especially for using a stamp positioning tool, which I still am going to use my Stamparatus. I know there's a new one out, so if you don't have a stamp positioning tool, I do recommend the new Stampin' Up! One. All right, so I got ink all over the block there. I'm going to do one here at the bottom. Okay, and I'm going to go side to side here below the flowers, kind of like they did. All right, that's good. Clean that off over there. Now we can put our basket down. Actually, also, you'll want to go ahead and add the tag. So I did pretty much keep this one like the kit said. I'm just going to decorate it some more when we add the basket. But we need to stamp our label with the sentiment. Now I'm going to go ahead and use the one that Stampin' Up! Recommended. And I have it all set up here in my Stamparatus for my cut files. So if you're new to my channel, know that I have an Etsy shop where I make cut files for sentiments of the paper pumpkin kits and any other stamps that I might have. I'm behind on my special request, but if you do have a special request, I can probably get to it after convention. So let me get my Shy Shamrock. Now this, I am going to use my ink spot on my Stamparatus. And I think I have it set there. And let's hope that works. So I did also include additional tags in that cut file in case you mess up or need more. And so that looks pretty good. So let me get my chamois and clean that off. Now this is half a chamois. I did cut mine in half, and then one half I cut in half again so that I have smaller pieces to come over here and clean my stamps versus the huge, large stamp chamois that it comes like. Okay, now when they recommended you cut 10 inches of this ribbon, I found 6 inches to be enough. So I'm going to use my little sheet here and cut. Now we know how ribbon goes with me on these videos, and let's hope it goes fine. Let me get out my silicone mat since I've already taken off the backings of those. So here's what I found easiest to put the tag on the basket. So I do it like that, and then I go ahead and just do run it through my tag, both ends through the front. See where, here it is. So I run it through the hole. Okay, and then I do a regular like shoelace type cross to hold it down. Okay, let's hope that's about even. And then I start my bow. So I just kind of do it like my shoelaces and try to find the end. Now, if you have trouble with 6 inches, you can make it bigger. I just wanted to conserve my twine as much as possible. So there we go. And then I like a tiny bow. Did I pull it all the way through? No. And a longer tail. So just kind of fuss with that until it's like you like it. And if your tails wind up not even, it's stuck here to my silicone mat. Let me get it up so I can mess with it. But I'm gonna go ahead and put it on my card and then mess with it that way. All right, so put that there. And then just mess with my tails. And if my tails end up uneven, then I can trim them from there. Okay, so that's pretty good. Now, if you want yours not to move, you could put a dimensional or something over there. And I realize it covers up our flowers, but I'm not worried about that. Okay, now that by itself is fine, but I wanted to add clouds in the sky and a little more, some eggs down here at the bottom. So I have some in my little folder. Now, I love all these little things. They help hold my ingredients from my cards. Okay, right here and here. That looks good. Kind of decide where you want the colors. I'm going to go with this lemon lolly one kind of across from that. And then I have some clouds. Now this is an old die that I have had for 20 plus years that I got even before I started Stampin' Up. So know that that's it. I think that cloud might be a little big. So I'm going to go with another one this size. There are some clouds, and the one I have finished, they're from the Playing in the Rain bundle or stamp set and dies that was available a while back. Maybe you have those. You could also just fussy cut some clouds, just kind of do it. Or I know there was one kit where we had cloud pieces in our kit, And I save the backings for those in case I ever want to trace them and use them like a stencil to cut out. See, I don't want a crooked cloud. So there is that card. Now let me go ahead and put my Easter eggs down here. I do love the little Easter egg stamps. So cute. Now I like to use my cut file and cut them in white and then stamp them in these multicolors. I know we got some pre-colored with the Shy Shamrock, a shade of it. But of course, I wanted lots of Easter eggs. So rather than fussy with all the dimensionals or all the embellishments on there, I'll show you my finished card with the embellishments. And you can see these were from the Playing in the Rain. But isn't that cute with just the little rhinestones there and the Easter eggs here? I thought dressing it up is good. So that's pretty basic for that first half. But now I get to have fun with the back half of that card, and I've made 3 cards with it. Now, since I'm behind, I wasn't going to reinvent the wheel on my alternatives, and I've used a pattern that I've used the last couple of times. So let me get that out here. So what I did was, I got to get out all the pieces for my kit. It's right here. Now I'm going to do some stamping this time. I decided, I was like, do I do it ahead of time or not? And I decided to do it on screen with you. A lot of you like that I do that. That way you see me do it. Now, if you're not into watching me do all the stamping, you can just kind of fast forward along and meet me when I'm done. But I thought I would show what I do for this kit in all. Okay, so I have the card base here, and I've already cut it in one piece. We'll cut the rest later. So this is the back half of that card base that I've cut this to 3 inches wide, and then I want to do my stamping. Now I went ahead and did all those Easter eggs because I'm going to have to pull my eggs off my Stamparatus. I have some little blocks here. By the way, one good investment if you love Paper Pumpkin is to get you some of these ergonomic blocks that are easier to hold. So they go just like that way that you can hold them easier. Now this is a piece that was a part of the case. I can get out my Stampin' Pierce mat instead because it's something that maybe you guys have. Except I set it aside. So I'm going to use this. Get a piece of scrap paper because I'm going to do some stamping off or off the edge. So it's not all just on the center. And I should have some here on my desk. So this is just scrap copy paper. So the thing, just know if it covers the whole thing, know where it falls off. And so your stamp will be full. Okay, so I'm going to get out each of these colors. Shy Shamrock. I don't need Crumb Cake right now. Balmy Blue. Peach Pie. And Pretty in Pink, actually 5 colors. And then Lemon Lolly. So we're going to stamp all these around the base of our, or on the card base piece. So have both Easter eggs, and when I start, I like to start in the middle. So just kind of ink it up, go, and you know what? I need to bring my at least a chamois piece over here to, I was going to get a block to set it on. Okay, because you're going to want to clean your stamp every so often. So I'm going to alternate between the pattern and the colors and just kind of randomly stamp these eggs. So like I said, I find it easiest to start in the middle and then work our way from there. Now, if you forget to clean your stamp, it's usually not that big a deal. Just try to clear it off as soon as possible so that off your ink pad there. I'm going to work as quickly as I can. Let's see, peach will need to be, I'm kind of alternating these patterns too. Okay, of the Easter egg. Now, if you want to just keep one pattern, it would go a little easier of the Easter eggs, but I'm going to do it randomly here. Let's do a yellow. Okay, and now we can start filling in. So let's see, I need a yellow there. Let's do a yellow kind of off, coming off. And I'm going to keep going with the yellow for a while and do some off like that. So I should be done with the lemon lolly. And now let's add some blue, balmy blue. So let's put some hanging off. And see, that wasn't real good. Let's see if I can go right back over it. Pretty good. So it was hanging off my edge there. I guess I need to make sure I'm on the pierce mat, or the thing I'm using as a pierce mat. Okay, let's add some Shy Shamrock. Let's see, not right there by the Shy Shamrock. Let's alternate that. And I want this pattern up there. I think I just put that in my blue, didn't I? Okay, a little more. Maybe over here. Okay, so now we need some more blue. Or I did do blue and I switched. Let's do some peach pie in there. And I really shouldn't have went off the edge first, because now I hope I have just enough room to fill in with those areas. You should work kind of your way out, and that way you know you have room to put your different colors. Okay, and I'm doing these pretty close together because in a minute we're going to cut this up. So let me get that off, and we need some pretty in pink. Let's do that like here and up here. And if they overlap, that's okay too. No worries. Like I said, we're just doing a random pattern of Easter eggs. So this one's going to overlap, but that's okay. Like I said, I should have stuck with doing them. What color needs to go there? Maybe a peach pie. So just kind of fill up your page. Don't worry about overlapping, because we're going to cut them and it's going to be random anyway. Whoops. Be on your stamp mat. I'm just going to go in and fill in a little of these off spaces. Okay, so do that, and do that to your long strip also. Okay, this one's going to go a little faster because it's smaller. So again, I'm going to kind of go in the middle here, turning the eggs one way and the other. I usually just do one color or one at a time, so I don't accidentally dip in the wrong ink pad, but so if I mess up, bear with me. And let's go back to, let's see, the blue doesn't have this pattern yet. And I really like pink, so let's do another pink. Okay, now we can fill in here on the sides with the different colors. Okay, and the different patterns. So find where there's not a Shy Shamrock, fill in there. I'll fill in over here. And then where there's not yellow, let's see, I don't have any yellow dots. Lemon Lolly anyway. And what am I missing? Some peach. Peach pie. By the way, so I shared the new in colors on my community, and also as part of that, I think I can say this, they're going to do a color refresh when they have the new ink pads come out. Now the ones for the in colors, when they come out in, I guess, April, May, they will be in the new ink pad, which is going to be a felt pad. They are going to be magnetic, so they're going to stick together, and you can open it up completely like a normal lid and then put the magnetic piece on the back. Okay, that's pretty good for our randomly stamped piece. So let me put all these inks up and I'll go back to where I was talking about. There's going to be a color refresh to roll out in 2017. So it's going to be, they're going to be in the new style pads, which are going to be felt. There is a little learning curve between the two. So these firm foam pads, they pick up the ink pretty quickly. And with the felt pad, you're going to want to do several taps to get it fully inked. We did have felt before, or yes, felt before, and they're much like our ink spots. So if that's what you're used to, then you won't have a learning curve at all. Okay, so let's start with this piece since it's already cut and stamped. Let me get my card out over here so I follow along. By the way, if you need to watch this all the way through and then get your supplies, that's kind of what I recommend to do. And then you can pause and stop and start as I go along. So here is my white card base. Now in my Balmy Blue folder, I already had a piece embossed. Now this is with the Painted Texture 3D embossing folder that's retired, but any texture would work. On my finished one, I did use the Forever Plaid. Okay, and then I have some large circles, and these are from the Stylish Shapes dies. Very basic shapes that I think are good to have for any occasion. Right here, they have circles, squares, and some tags. So this is the largest one. Okay, and then I was looking through my stash because I wanted a bunny stamp. We did not get one in this one. So I was looking through, and back in February of 2024, we have this beautiful kind of realistic bunny. So I stamped a lot of those already. Now I went ahead and purchased a cocoa, a brown colored memento spot. This is called Rich Cocoa, and that's what I stamped those in. I did go and add those to part of my favorite crafty things on my Amazon storefront. So I have a link in that in the video description of this box. Now I'm going to go ahead and color one. I have some finished behind me, but I wanted to go ahead and color one with you so that you know kind of what I did. So I'm going to get out a piece of just scrap paper, or that was the cardstock from the thing. Now I went, you can use pecan pie that's in the assortment 1 of the watercolor pencils. Now I've been asking Stampin' Up! To come out with a color of each one. Okay, what I did there, anyway, they have yet to do that. So I have found another set that I really like that has a lot more colors. And it's on my Amazon storefront too. And so there are 72 different colors with this. And I find they work really well. Now let me give you a tip if you don't want to use a blender pen. You can dip watercolor pencils in water and look how smooth it comes out. Okay, so you don't have to blend it. So I wanted to share that just as a tip. Now I wanted my bunny to have some white spots, and I've had a hard time getting it to show. And what I find works best is to go ahead and do your white first. I know you can't see this. I can barely see it, just reflecting. So I did some dots and some stripes over here on his body. And that's going to help resist the new color that I'm going to put on, this brown. And I'm using the walnut brown. It's still kind of wet. You can see how easy it's going on. But that's a little tip for watercoloring. I do love watercolor pencils. For one, they're very economical. And two, you can actually, well, if you don't get it wet, you can kind of erase if you mess up. If you get it wet and lay it on, it's pretty permanent. It's kind of like after you do the blender pen. I like to blend it with a blender pen, and I've kind of changed my style. I used to do stripes. Now I do circles, so the stripes don't show as much. I don't know if that shows, but I can see the white still. And I'm just going to color my bunny like this. I'll leave his paws kind of white. Just add a very light color there. So let me get my one that I've dedicated to brown. Now these blender pens come in a pack of 3, and I've kind of made a tip for each kind of basic color, so I don't have to scribble off and waste the lovely juices inside. So I'm just gonna color him. And again, this is just thick white paper, so it's not watercolor paper. So if you feel it kind of starting to pill, stop and then come back after it dries, or you're going to pill up your paper. But I find it works pretty well. Just like that. Let me add a little more darker color here where the stamp kind of gives some color. Okay, now each one of these are going to turn out a little different. I don't know what that is on there. Like I said, I have some finished ones behind me that I'm going to grab because, okay, do you see how that, I'm going to bring this up, it kind of resisted the brown, and so it has some little spots. I tried using my white gel pen, and it's not really going over the watercolor pencil. I don't know exactly what happened. Okay, and then I have a pink, and now this is out of that same set because there wasn't a pretty in pink. It's number 33. Granadine Light, whatever that name is. Just going to put a very light coating there, and I'm going to give him a pink nose. Now this is where, watch the difference. I dipped that pink in my water, and he gets a really pink nose already blended. So let me get my pink blender pen and blend that. I'm not going to blend the nose. And then here is a fun thing for their eyes. So in my stash, I had these Nuvo drops, and this one is Ebony Black. And watch his eyes come to life when I do this. Now, I did go and put these on my Amazon storefront as well. And don't do what I just did. So that's why I have some done ahead of time. But if you do mess up, you can, when they dry, kind of pluck them off. And I'm going to use my nail to try to guide the ink back. Okay, and the way to apply these is go down and up. And if it's too pointy, you can flick it and help it to lay flat. Now, don't touch these for a while. They do need a little while to dry, and that's why I have some behind me. So let me get one that's already done and dry. So like I said, they'll all end up different. This one I may have done with the pecan pie. It looks a little different color. Okay, so we have our bunny, and then we just want to decorate our card. So there is no ribbon on the card front and piece. In my decorated piece, I do have a piece of white cardstock that is about 1.5 inches wide, and it's going to be 5 3/8. Now I haven't trimmed the base of this piece yet from our kit that we colored, and what I like to do is just kind of flip it over, get my scissors, and trim it right to the length of the card, of the layer, and go straight. It's hard to see white on white there, and then you have it perfect. So let's adhere this to that, and here's my glue. I'm getting a mess of supplies here on my desk as we kind of go and make the true alternatives going off kilter. So, by the way, there was a coordinating bundle or suite that went with this kit. And if you have that, you probably have some bunnies. They're not these realistic ones. I try to bring in past paper pumpkins for all my paper pumpkin subscribers, especially if we have something that works. Now, notice on this side, it was from a kit long ago, and I just decided I didn't like it, so I stuck it in my Balmy Blue folder and said, I'm sure I will use it sometime, and so here I am using it. But I just wanted the plain side, because I wanted this strip to be the star of the show there. And then we can adhere this to that. And I didn't get that straight, did I? Well, you know what? I'm going to get out my trimmer and fix that. So if you, I guess I cut it crooked because it looks pretty even on that side. If you feel that you got yours a little off, stick it in your trimmer here. Line it up with that pattern. And hopefully this one is my sharp blade. And I didn't get it in the cutter, did I? Okay, get it in the track. Cut just a sliver. And it's better. That blade obviously is my older one. So I'm going to take it out so that I don't use it, because it kind of frayed the paper. Now these are harder. I'm going to fiddle with this with you so you know it's kind of difficult. Now from the side it's going to be even worse. But if to get these in and out, when you get to that point, you just kind of lift, and same thing when you go to put one in, you just kind of get it like that and push it in. So let me put that one aside in my little jar. Okay, we're going to need our trimmer in a minute, but I'm going to put it away. I don't have enough desk space here for all these pieces that I have here. All right, so let's adhere this to here. You know what, I'm going to do it kind of at the bottom. I'm still not happy with that. I'm just going to fussy cut it and hopefully go kind of straight, and I'll get rid of that frayed edge. I can't cut straight either. So that works pretty good, especially because this is going to go there and cover that. So we're going to go with that. I should check all those layers before I do my video, but you guys know crafting is not perfect, and a lot of you appreciate that I try to fix my mistakes on video, so you know what to do. Now for this bunny, I'm going to blend a little blue in the background. Now I usually use my glass mat, but it kind of reflects. So I just have these blocks that I've gotten from kits that I use, and I use those like a color palette to put some balmy blue. And I first start swirling it around on the block, so it's really, really light. And then I start where I think my bunny is going to be, in case it's a big blob. Okay, and then I just run it around the circle. And I'm sorry if this moves my camera. It is attached to my desk, so it may shake a little bit. Okay, that looks good. And then I want to do a sentiment. Now this sentiment also comes from that same set, and it's one big long sentiment, but I want it to be Happy Easter in different lines. So here's what you do. Lots of teaching in this video, so, and it's probably going to be kind of long. It is. Okay, I'm going to cover up happy with some Scotch tape. Okay, and then when I ink it, I'm going to use Balmy Blue. You just also, to help, you ink it here to the side, not inking happy. Now the trick is, before you stamp, take this tape off in case you got any blue on that. Okay, and then clean that off. And now we want to cover up Easter. And then just try to ink this happy. Take the tape off and put that where you want it. And now you have Happy Easter on 2 lines. You could also do stamp surgery, which is cutting that stamp in half and using them separately. So let's add our bunny. Now, the hard part is over. The hard part was all the stamping and coloring, and I just wanted to show that in case you have trouble like I do coloring these things. Okay, let's put some bunnies down. Okay, like that. And you know what? You could put grass there. I did not. I just thought of that right now for the bunny. But since I didn't do that, I didn't do that. Okay, here's my ribbon saving technique to do a little swash of ribbon. So I have this old Pretty in Pink. It's retired, but I'm trying to use my stuff. So I just do 2 little strips like that. Cut this one in the middle, and that's going to be my ones hanging off. Okay, that way they have the same anchor, and then these are going to curve, kind of like I did a swaddle of ribbon. Now, I've shared this before. I do have trouble doing the swaddle of ribbon, so I just put them where I know I can, they look good. I tape them down. I force them to go the way I want them to go. It also saves a little ribbon. So I just get those, separate them a little bit, put some tear and tape on there, and get 2 more little strips. Okay, and then I do kind of look and say, okay, where would those come from? That one looks like it's coming from there. So let's tape that there. And then this one's a little further up. So there's a ribbon saving technique, and to get the swaddle of ribbon just like you like it. So now we need to add a whole bunch of dimensionals. And you know what? I'm going to skip that for time's sake because I have 2 more cards to get to, and I'll show you my finished one. But that's going to go on dimensionals. And then, of course, every card looks better with a little bling. So this is my second one, and you can see here I use the Forever Plaid 3D embossing folder. So I hope you like this alternative. My white, I kind of went over it with some actual paint. I have this white Craft Time all-purpose deco art paint, and it was just a mess. So it looks okay there. You can kind of see doing the white ahead of time helps fade that out to show like bunny spots. Okay, so that's our second card. Time is flying. Okay, so there's that one. Now we need this piece, and we're going to cut it into 4 pieces. So we're going to do it at 1 3/8. Now I like to cut this based off of the right side, this side over here. Okay, and cut 1. And then I bring it down to the bottom. You can't see the measurement, but 1 3/8 again. 2, 3. The other one looks not like it's 1 3/8. Okay, 1 and 1, 2, 3. Well, I miscut, so do as I say, not as I did. 1 3/8, and then 1 3/8 on this one. Or am I going to work with this one and just let it be off? Let's leave this one as it is. What is it? It's pretty big. It's 1 it's more than 1. Okay, let's cut it. 1 2 3. I'll do it on this side. 1 2 3. Make sure if you do change cutting that your pattern is going to match up. So I need this to be over here. 1 2 3. Okay, I may change that second card just a little bit, but we have 3 pieces here, and hopefully it does match up. That one matches up there, and this one matches up here. Not really. Okay. Up there. There we go. Okay, so keep those like that because that's how we're going to use them. Okay, put this other aside for our third card. I'm telling you, I'm out of practice from my vacation, so bear with me here. Okay, so let's get out our supplies for this card. A thick white card base. That's a glue blob. The circle was extra in case I messed up. I do have a shy shamrock piece that's 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Actually, I did do it for. Sometimes I do it just a smidge. This one does look like 4 1/8. That I have dry embossed with the Forever Plaid. And then for each one of those pieces, we need a piece of white to mat them. Okay, and these are 1.5 by 3 1/8, since that's 3/8 inches long. So let's adhere these to those pieces. I'm going to try to work quickly here because I know we're running long on time. So hopefully you grabbed a nice drink to have while you watch the video. All right. By the way, if you use just a teeny bit of this glue, it doesn't give you as much wiggle room. So if you peel it off real quick, you can fix it. If you do a bigger blob, you have a little more wiggle room to get it straight. Okay, so there's one. Here's 2. And 3. You guys probably saw on when I was cutting that, probably yelling at me saying that's not 3/8. But we're going to make it work. Okay, real easy here. We're going to adhere this to the card base. So let me get out a big amount. Now, especially with an embossed piece, you want to use a generous amount of glue, not too much glue, just so that it has room to go down in the pattern so that it will stay. You know, working fast never works, does it? I always have trouble with something if I try to work too fast. So I'll slow down a little bit and work with it. Okay, if you want this one in the center, I do use kind of like this grid sheet here. And this 7.5 is the middle point. So I line up my little pieces. Okay, so that's going to be the center, kind of between the 7 and the 8. And I'm going to put the center one down first. Okay, try to do it straight. Sideways is always interesting. I could get out my T-ruler and make sure it's straight. And then I can just put these spaced evenly like that. So we have a nice little background of Easter eggs, and those do kind of follow the pattern. So that's important when you're putting those on, or if you don't care, that's okay. Now I also, in my cut file, I did the basket that we had because I wanted more than just the 3 baskets they gave us. So this one I cut with crumb cake ink, and then I inked up along the edges with a little sponge dauber, just going around it like this, okay, all around the edges. And then I added a little here to give it a little more dimension of color, variation of color. Okay, and now we need my Easter eggs. Now I've already done a bunch of those right here, so I'm just going to grab one of each color in the different patterns. So if I have here's one already colored. That'll save some time. Now I colored these with a blending brush that we're going to have to do. It's a yellow one, lemon lolly one. I like the name of that, lemon lolly. And a shy shamrock and a blue one. I think all I need is 5, which is an odd number, which always is more pleasing to the eye. Okay, so let's get out our blocks again. Let's see if I still have enough balmy blue on here to color this one. It'll be light, but at least it's colored. Okay, so there's one. The peach pie was already done, pretty in pink. have a blending brush here. Do a little ink. And I'll have different colored fingernails when we're done with this. Sometimes I just go wipe my chamois off of it so I don't get ink all over my project. Okay, we need the Shy Shamrock one. Let's see if there's ink on here. Not really, so let me get my spot. If you have a bunch of ink on your block already, you can kind of reactivate it by huffing on it. Okay, and one more, the Lemon Lolly. And I just dumped my water over on that block. So let's get another block. And I'll clean that up as soon as possible. Luckily, it didn't come onto my project here. Okay, so there's our Lemon Lolly one. And let me grab a paper towel and clean up that water so it doesn't spread anywhere else. Okay, I got that cleaned up. Now this one I embossed with again, it's a retired embossing folder. It's one of the more recent ones. It's called Coastal Weave 3D, and I say recent based on this basket weave one, which I've done with my sample. So I thought I'd show both of those as an alternative. I guess the plaid might look good if that's all you have. Now I'm going to grab one more bunny that I already have done, so I don't have to do that again with you. Okay, I did still use the bunny from, let's see, that was February of 2024. Okay, and then I'm going to put these Easter eggs in the basket. So just kind of randomly put them there. Now, what I found easiest was to get my tape runner. And if you've watched my videos, you know I have this huge 3M one that I still have lots of glue for. So I try to use it. Use what you have. Okay, and then let's just start putting on the Easter eggs like this. So it doesn't really matter. I just kind of alternate the pattern. I want this one like in front of that one because that one's in the back. Then we'll do a polka dot, and the Lemon Lolly is really hard to see its pattern, but it is yellow. Okay, like that. And then of course we need dimensionals. My pack has disappeared on all my mess. I'll get another little strip out. Can't believe I have one more. This is like the longest video in a while. But hopefully you like these cards and you like that I shared everything as far as coloring and whatnot. Okay, also to help hold these eggs, you might want to put some dimensional on that one. You can see that one still moved, especially the ones in the back. They didn't attach to that glue strip as much. Okay, and I'm going to show you how I put my bunny in. And then we'll move on to our last card. I'm just going to put these on. I'm not going to take off the backings, but I want to show you how you slip the little bunny in there. And by the way, there is the finished card. So I'll just go ahead and do that because we are running long. So you can either do it now, but I liked his ears poking up like where the basket is. And you can see each bunny has a little different color. I forgot his nose. I'm going to have to add his nose. His little pink nose. Okay, so that is my third. And now this Easter, that is from this kit this month. And I did use one of my cut files there, so it fit nicely on the basket. Okay, that is our third card to our last one. Now, like I said, I did mess up cutting this, so it's going to be a little off. And of course I didn't, does it match up? No, it doesn't match up with that. So we're just going to work with it. Okay, so I have my base, a Forever Plaid layer. Don't know why that's white on there. Probably from my paint that I was doing. Okay, now if this was 1 3/8 inches long, of course it would fit perfectly on, on this layer that I've already cut. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to deal with that. So I'm gonna work this out and then you guys will see what I have done. Okay, so you need 3 layers of cardstock. So this is white and its measurement, I have it right here, is 3 5/8 by 4 3/8. You'll need another one that's 3 3/8 by 1 4/8, and then this shy shamrock piece to go here, which is 3 1/2 by 4 1/4. So we're going to layer those on top of each other. Let me grab the white, put glue on the, no, this was the outside piece. Okay, put that there. And then put our other white layer here. Now, after I finish this video, I'm going to go see if maybe two-tone cardstock is this shade of blue and redo a piece that's 1 3/8. But I'll show you on my finished card where it's 1 3/8. Okay, so then again, we're going to layer these, and I'm going to try to find a light blue cardstock that matches. Okay, and that's going to go down here at the bottom. But we want to stamp our grass because we're going to add another bunny here. I really hope a lot of you have this bunny. He's so cute. I wish we would have had a bunny in this kit, but we just have the die cut pieces. Now, kind of go off to the side and off to the side, and that was about where that's going to go. If you didn't get it, if you got it too low like I did, you just go again. And you can see it kind of lines up. Okay, that looks pretty good. This poor last card, he's had a fine time. Okay, and then we're going to add the bunny. And then I'm just going to go ahead and show you the finished one because we're running low on time. Now I changed my mind on this and wanted to do Shy Shamrock, but that's still Balmy Blue and it looks okay, so I stuck with it. I did do my bunny, and these little guys, I got those for this kit and I looked and they're already discontinued. They're in the mini catalog, so in case you have these, it is Softest Spring Mix and match puffy stickers, and that's where I got this little butterfly and this flower that has some dimension on it. Let me see if you can see that. So they're cute little guys, and I was hoping to promote those as cute little things to add to your card. But thanks for staying with me, everybody. Let me give you a brief preview of what we've done. I know we've gone long. Thanks for sticking with me, especially if you're still with me. And let's I had a suggestion to show all the cards we've made, so I thought I would go back and get them out. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So again, we've made 4 cards with that 1 card base. So now I can switch to myself. Okay, we made it through. So I will have another alternative hopefully by Thursday. Like I said, I'm working very speedily because next week is the Stampin' Up! Demonstrator convention that I'm going to. And then I'll have the March kit probably when I get back or soon after. So I've got to work quickly with this kit. And also, since I'm late, I'm trying to work quick to give you alternatives. So again, if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, I'd really appreciate your subscription. And the best compliment you can give me is a thumbs up to this video. Share it with your other paper crafting friends. And as I mentioned, subscribe to my YouTube channel. So until my next video, I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for joining me today. And we'll see you hopefully Thursday. Bye-bye.